Okay, so I'm super excited to be here. We're gonna switch gears a little, and I'm gonna speak in English. Actually, there was a little bit of a mix-up in terms of my bio, but that's okay. So yes, I have done research in innovation management. I handed in my dissertation just recently. Now I'm working in a corporate job, but I'm gonna talk about that later. And the talk actually has a slightly different angle to it. As you can see, the title is Dare to Connect, but it is very much fueled by what I learned after I became a mom, and then started working full-time and had an online business on the side. So as you can imagine, my days are kind of full, and that very much spurred the ideas that I'm going to present to you today. So, yes, Dare to Connect. I want to start this talk with a slightly different thing, and I want to do a little exercise with you. But don't worry, you don't have to move, and you also don't have to pour your heart out to the person sitting next to you. All I want you to do is to close your eyes for a minute and imagine something. Are your eyes closed? Good. I want you to imagine a world where you could reach and connect anyone, whoever you set your mind to. I want you to imagine a world where you could find people who believe in the things that you believe in, no matter where they live, no matter where you live, no matter where you are in your life. I want you to imagine a world where you could start a movement, however big or small, but a movement about this one thing that you are passionate about this one change that you want to bring to this world. What would that world look like? And how would you feel about living in that kind of world? The truth, of course, is, and you may open your eyes now again, that this is, in fact, the world that we live in today. That for the first time in the history of humankind, your individual social network is no longer determined by where you were born and whom your parents know. That whatever goal you set yourself, whoever you want to become, you can figure it out. There has been someone who has already done it. And what is even more, you can find people who are on the same journey that you are on. You can find people who strive for the same things that you strive for. But this comes at a cost, because yes, there is this transparency of information, and yes, there is this potential to connect. But the cost is that there is always somewhere someone who is posting more. There is always somewhere someone who is showing more of their achievements. There is always somewhere someone who is further along in the journey. And that kind of sucks. And you feel frazzled and distracted. And the way we react to that kind of distraction and frazzledness and suckiness is the same way we react to feeling stressed and busy. We cram more into our lives. We skim, we automate, we multitask. And it has never been easier thanks to those beautiful devices that are always at our fingertips. And this doesn't only pertain to information. Yes, you scroll through your information feed on your news app, but you do that also when it comes to your relationships. Think about it when you open Facebook or Instagram or whatever your platform of choice is. What do? You work through your feed. You skim, you almost automatically like the things that are posted. And what you've done is that you've stopped engaging with the content, the things that are posted, the captions with the pictures. And what is even more, you've stopped engaging with the person behind the content. And that's kind of a problem. Don't you think so? Because that is the thing that you need for connection. As a society, we have the potential to connect, to become hyper-connected. But we are merely hyperlinked at this point in time. And it doesn't get much better for those people who have the privilege of entering your email inbox or your messages. When do you answer those? While you're waiting in line for coffee, while you're sitting next to a friend, supposedly having dinner together. So on an individual level, what we notice is that more and more people actually feel that they are missing true, deep, meaningful connections. The potential is there, but the real depth is missing. And that is a problem, not only on a societal level, but on an individual level. And in order to solve that, there is actually only one thing that we need. It's kind of a big one, but there's only one thing that we need, and that's courage. For one, we need the courage to be honest. We need to be honest about the fact that really, truly, honestly inside, we might be a little addicted to those devices right at our fingertips. That maybe, truly, honestly inside, we care a lot more about the bing, beep, and buzz of that device than the thing that causes the bing, beep, and buzz. That it has become completely socially accepted to complain about emails and messages, yet we open those apps, 80 times a day? So in order to change the problem, in order to change our behavior, we first need to own up to the fact that we might have a problem. Second, you need the courage to decide. You need to decide what it is that you're doing whenever you log onto your favorite social media app. Because the thing is, whenever you don't engage with the content, whenever you don't engage with the person behind the content, you are not staying in touch. You're not building connections. You're not investing in your relationships. You're simply consuming. And there's nothing wrong with consumption. A little Netflix here, a little Amazon Prime there. But it has to have boundaries, and you need to be aware of what you're doing. And you shouldn't confuse passive consumption with investing time and energy into the people you care about. And lastly, that's kind of the important one, you need the courage to be vulnerable. Because the truth is, whenever you want to connect with someone else, you have to dare to show who you really are. You have to dare to be vulnerable and to speak your truth. And the truth is, not everyone will like it. But that's okay too. And the other truth is, it's always been that way. If you neglect all the technology, that is the one thing that you always needed in order to connect with another human being. You need to show up as who you are. You need to speak your truth, your mind, your opinion, and you need to dare to show the other person who you really are. That's the one thing that hasn't changed. The beautiful thing is that now, with all this technology, you have the potential to connect with people that you couldn't have connected otherwise. But you need to dare to be vulnerable. Because connection, that's kind of scary, right? It's challenging. It's risky. You have to put yourself out there. But if you dare to do that, then you have the potential to reach another human being. And I want to tell you a little story about just that. As I said, in a time pre-internet, you were pretty limited in terms of who you could reach and who you would connect to. But now with the internet, you have the potential to reach people who believe the things that you believe in, no matter where they live and no matter who they are. And that's exactly the story that I want to tell you today. There are two women on these pictures. It's a little blurry, but you'll get the impression. I'll walk you through. So as you probably noticed, one is me. The other one is Chrissy. And she's actually here today. And you probably noticed right away when you looked at the photos that we look really different. Chrissy has long black hair. It's actually more bluish right now. She likes to dress really black. She has several tattoos. I, on the other hand, as evidenced right now, like to wear white, crisp shirts. And if you've seen me running around before the talk, then you probably saw a little Prada bag. So on the surface, we have nothing in common. And if you look a little deeper, you will find just that. Chrissy, even though she's an introvert, she's more of a wild spirit. She is a freelancer. She's a web designer and a copywriter. I, on the other hand, have a strictly business background. As I said, I've done research in innovation management, and now I have a corporate job, as corporate as they come. I work in the strategy department for a financial services firm. Yeah, it doesn't get more boring. Actually, it's super exciting, but I know what you're expecting. So we are incredibly different. And the truth is that in a world without the internet, we would have never met. And it does nothing to do with where we live. We actually both live in Munich. But the truth is, if we had bumped into each other, we wouldn't even have considered talking to each other. But we did connect because of this beautiful thing called the internet. And all it took for us was to show up as who we are and to talk about the things that we believe in. And all of a sudden, we realized that even though we look incredibly different, we have incredibly different backgrounds, we share something, and we have a common language to talk about it. And so we connected, and we stayed in touch through Instagram and other platforms. And now, I'm standing here today. Chrissy is here. She's now working with me in my online business. She was the first hire that I made. And not only that, she's also kind of my supporter and friend in my own little movement that I'm trying to create, where I aim to empower women to make bolder choices about their lives so that they can live their lives according to their own priorities. All it took for us was to show up and to speak about the things that we believe in, that we speak about the things that we want to change. And to wrap this talk up, that is really all you have to do. In order to build connection, that is all you have to do. You simply have to show up. And I'm absolutely convinced that there are people out there waiting for you to reach out, to connect. That there are people out there waiting for you because they believe in the things that you believe in. I'm convinced that there are people out there waiting for you to join their movement or even to lead their movement so that you can bring about the change that you want to see in this world. Your people, the people that get you, they're waiting for you. So the only question really is, will you dare to connect? Thank you.